joining us is a lawmaker. Republican Congressman Issa of California is with us. He is vice chair of the House Foreign Affairs Committee. Congressman, thank you for being here on Bloomberg TV and radio. Given your vice chairmanship and the role you have in the House, can you tell us definitively what objectives the president is trying to achieve here, as he says these operations will continue until we have concluded and reached all of our objectives?
Well, I can only speak for the long history of what America has passed through the Congress in the way of statutes and, resolutions. And I might start by reminding everyone that there is no constitutional ban on the president continuing this fight. There's a statute called the War Powers Act that has never been constitutionally tested. So it may well be that the president could continue for a protracted period of time. That being said, I take the president at his word that he wants to get in, get it done, get a replacement government that we can work with. But get what done,
Congressman, I guess, is the question. What is it that we are trying to get done?
Well, for 40 plus years, Iran has threatened its neighbors and it's exported terrorism. Nuclear was simply an ambition so they could do that with impunity. And the reality is that although we've stifled their ballistic missile program, as you're seeing today, hitting targets throughout the Gulf, is still very much intact. So one thing is reducing or eliminating that threat. The second one, quite candidly, is when the president made a determination that he could not work with and he was not going to have negotiations in good faith with the current heads of government, that they were simply buying time as they had done for almost 50 years. He made a decision to take them out and welcome the Iranian people to effectively pick a new leader. Will that be a leader we choose? No. Will it be a wonderful democracy? Unlikely. But will it be a government similar to Venezuela that recognizes that working with us is a solution and working against us can be fatal?
I want to ask you more about this potential for a war powers vote, Congressman, and we appreciate you taking time out of your Sunday to talk to us about all of this. We understand that there was a meeting, a House Republican conference meeting about an hour ago at 4 p.m. If that's true, you can probably give us some insights into what the rest of the Republican House is thinking on this. I want you to listen to Ro Khanna, realizing this is a voice from the other side of the aisle about his attempt to bring this to a vote this coming week. Listen.
Of course we're at war with Iran. We killed their leader. We have over 100 of our fighter jets bombing them. The point of this resolution is to say we do not want another war in the Middle East, or at least Congress should opine on that, should vote on that. And if you're not voting for this war powers resolution, you basically have Lindsey Graham's view, which is that the president gets to decide wars.
I think we know the answer to this, Congressman, but are you a no vote on a war powers resolution? And how many Republicans in the conference think like you?
Well, look, the president knows very well, as does the speaker, that we only have a one-seat majority. So you only need a handful of Republicans to say that they're not going to vote no, or they are going to vote yes on. It's not a war powers resolution, by the way. The Democrats are putting out a war powers stopping, you may not go resolution. And it will possibly pass the House because I believe every Democrat will vote for it and a handful of Republicans. Whether it passes the Senate or not is a separate question. But it doesn't change the basic underlying statutes in place, including previous war powers acts that gave the president broad authority, particularly over terrorism. And nobody on either side of the aisle can look you in the eye and tell you that Iran has not exported terrorism and is not doing it as we speak with Hezbollah, Hamas, Islamic Jihad, and other groups that they financially and leadership back. No one can say that there isn't Iranian blood or American blood on Iranian hands for what they did in Iraq and Afghanistan to, in fact, export capability of killing Americans, which they did. So the idea that this is a new war, it's not. It's 50 years in the making. It is, in fact, the president saying he's going to decapitate both its leadership and its capability to wage war, and I believe to export terrorism in the way it has in the past. Now, that's not a goal that everyone agrees with in the Congress. Quite frankly, for 50 years, we've had people who keep saying, we just have to negotiate. These Ayatollahs are just misunderstood. It started when they took hostages in 1979 and claimed that it was their students and not their government. And it is that subterfuge has continued for my entire life, practically. Yeah. And President Trump has wisely said, negotiate like there's no war, but wage this kind of battle until there is meaningful negotiation. I don't believe he'll stop because they ask for a ceasefire. I believe he'll stop when they show a willingness to make real and permanent changes.
Congressman, I've only got about a minute left, and I'd like to ask you about what's happening here or what might happen here in the homeland. There are great concerns about retribution, about domestic terrorism, either through some sort of cell network or through by way of a lone wolf acting. And we know, of course, that the Department of Homeland Security is shut right now. Does that have any bearing on our ability to keep the homeland secure, knowing that this partial shutdown is moving into a new week?
Absolutely. When you look at all the various elements of keeping the homeland safe, including the FBI, including our international tentacles that look for it, the reality is one of the missing parts is that during the Biden administration, we had no control over millions of people coming in. If any nefarious actor, including Iran, has planted people, we are at risk. And there's no time like now to put money into making sure that we have Homeland Security fully funded, even if it's only for 30 or 60 days. And I would call on my Democrats to make that the first resolution, to fully fund Homeland Security, at least for a period of time sufficient to get through this high threat level.
It's great to have you with us, Congressman. Thank you for the time. Republican Darrell Issa of California is Vice Chair, Foreign Affairs, with us live on Bloomberg TV and radio, and joining us now with their insights.